to me means dominating a life you only get to live once. So a little bit of a spin on the YOLO. At the end of the day, it is a life you only get to live once, so why not dominate that life?
Want to know what a coach is really thinking when you're training in the gym? This episode pulls back the curtain. We're joined by Brooke Scerri, D8's very own strength and performance coach. With a Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science and a Bachelor of Nutrition and Food Science, she is your go-to person for strength and nutrition. What I love about Brooke's approach is that she backs everything she does with evidence-based strategies to get real, lasting results for her clients. In this episode, Brooke debunks common gym myths that might be holding you back. She talks straight about what actually matters when it comes to strength training and how to build not just a strong body, but a resilient mind. I know I got lots of pointers for this. You'll hear real stories, real results, and raw insights into what it really takes to improve in the gym. If you want honest advice with no fluff, no fads, just facts and proven principles, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Welcome, Brooke, to the D8 Training Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. We're excited not only to have you on the podcast, but that you're part of the D8 training team. How long has it been now that you've been here?
Oh, I think maybe close to the end of 4 months, 5 months.
For those who haven't met you or for those that don't know much about you, can you just give us a quick snapshot of your background and how you ended up working in strength and conditioning?
So essentially, I always kind of knew that I wanted to work with people in some helping matter. So I underwent a double degree, so in Bachelor's in Exercise Sports Science and Food and Nutrition Science. I ended up in the strength and performance side of things halfway through my uni degree, where I realised I need to get some experience. So I jumped into an internship at the Australian Athletic Centre, and then from there I was able to gain experience within the strength and conditioning world, and that's where it started and my interest grew. I had the privilege to be there for 12 months. I had a good insight, and that's where I was like, this might be the path for me.
Were you doing a degree already in the strength and conditioning area?
Well, the exercise sports science degree covered it. So within that degree, I was doing courses such as exercise prescription and delivery. So learning how to prescribe exercise and learning how to deliver it. Then I thought, okay, I'll go part-time in uni. So when I went part-time, then I also gained experience at the same time, and I was able to put both worlds together.
Oh, so you're doing the internship while studying uni, so getting that hands-on experience.
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic. And what sort of things did you do at AAC?
Yeah, so at AAC, I got to work with a whole wide range of athletes. That's kind of what they cover over there, from baseball players to football to a lot of girls got into softball and things like that. And so I was able to, watch how their coaches coached their athletes, and then sometimes they'll give me a little bit of responsibility and I'll have a girl or two with me and take them through their program that's already been made. And that was great experience for me.
AAC is great. We had Adam on the podcast as well. It's just a ball of knowledge.
Adam is a really good mentor for me. So yeah, I give him credit for giving me this world.
Was there a defining moment or experience where you went, right, I want a career in the strength and conditioning, and you're doing the nutrition as well?
The moment for me was at AAC. I was working with a little girl, and I think over the time of her being there, she started to come out of her shell more, maybe because I was like one of the only female coaches, so to speak, there at the time. And then just starting to see her progress, her confidence, and I was like, oh, this is really exciting, because she was just the beginning of high school, so really young, and the confidence growing in a gym for a female was actually really cool to see. So that was something.
I think gym and females is fantastic. I was always in and out of the gym probably from about 15, 16 years old when I was allowed to be in there. But it wasn't until I started dating Nevin where he was so consistent that I started becoming consistent. And then learning to lift and lift heavier and then more than my body weight, you're like, wow, it's a confidence you can't explain.
100%. And I think because she was so young, she's in this positive environment, because AAC do have a really good environment, that, well, okay, we've got her young, so then her memories moving forward were always positive within the gym environment.
And that's something you do really well, even here at D8, make it really fun, engaging and positive for whether it be for the kids or the adults to thrive.
100%. And even for like the young boys that I work with here in the junior gym, like not being exclusive, but just making sure everyone has a positive experience and that memory throughout their childhood.
There's only a certain small percentage that make it into the elite athletes, but if we can set up those habits for life from a young age, they're set, because movement's so important, because this day and age we don't work on farms anymore.
No, you're right. And if they're not going to be an elite athlete, that's okay. But if they're going to keep those healthy habits like you mentioned, then that's a bonus.
So prior to D8, you were training veterans. So you're taking them out of the house, getting them into the gym. And sometimes this was the only time they would leave their house to train. Can you tell us a bit more about this experience?
In my final year of university, I was privileged with a placement called the Invictus Pathway Program. But since then, it has actually been renamed to Wellbeing for Australian Veterans and Emergency Services. So it's called WAVES. And essentially, it's established by the Hospital Research Foundation and UniSA. And it aims to support current and former Defence Force personnel and first responders by promoting sport, exercise and participation in community adaptive sports as a mean to enhance their well-being. Essentially, the program is led by students, and I was one of those students in my placement year. The aim was to support the physical, psychological and social well-being of returned service personnel and first responders. So that's something like the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, or the police, fire department or ambulance or paramedics. Each week, I was lucky enough to have 4 clients assigned to me, and I trained them at the university gym, designing individual programs that met their goals and that was tailored to them. And then over the 12 months, clients, they completed regular strength testing and performance testing, following the principle, if you're not testing, you're guessing. So we kept that going with these veterans. It was a really good experience, one of my favourite memories from uni.
And as you said, like with the testing, what gets measured gets managed. So if you're there looking at it, managing it throughout the life cycle, you'll do better. And that's why we've got the Whatify app where you can add your weights in and see how you track.
Tracking was really important.
And what were some of the initial challenges you faced getting them involved in physical exercise?
So overall, for my clients, it was I had a really great positive reaction from them joining in. Occasionally, if a client was not feeling up to it due to external factors, I mean, you've got to remember, some of these clients, in the police force or the army, they've got like PTSD. So their sleeping habits at night can, be terribly affected. So sometimes they'll show up, which to me was amazing that they showed up and made that commitment. Even though the gym session may have not been completed at the time, we would go and have a chat, have a walk around the city, something within that 1 hour, because they did show up. They came out of their house and they showed up.
So you mentioned that they had PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yes, that's right.
Was there any challenges or things that you learnt through that?
Just to manage how they're going, because you don't want to ask them, what trauma were you going through? You don't want to open that can of worms. I mean, they had to do that anyway to get into the program, and a lot of people keep that to themselves. So you just manage it lightly. You talk to them like a normal human being, and you try and change their mind and see if you can lighten up their day. So if gym wasn't part of that program for the day but they still showed up, then we'll go to the coffee shop or we'll go for a walk, and we'll just try and change their mind and make their day better.
And movement just changes state. Like I know if I'm feeling crappy and just going for a walk, if I can't be bothered doing gym, just changes my mind and how I feel.
100%. Sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. There was actually a study in one of the English universities or in England where they said that exercise, like strength training or at least some form of movement, is 3 times more effective than antidepressant drugs or anxiety pills. Did you have any surprises working with this group, something you didn't expect to learn or to witness?
Most challenging part, or the biggest surprise I got, was, you start to read their profile as you get assigned these clients. You start to get overwhelmed, the injuries they've got, or for me, it was more the psychosocial factors, so like the mental health side of things. But once you start working with them, they're totally fine, and you build up this narrative of like, oh no, what if this happens? But at the end of the day, they're humans, and you just treat them like that. And I was so privileged to be able to be there for the 12 months when they achieve these goals within the gym, from 12 months prior to 12 months after, that they were happy themselves as well. So just pushing themselves, and they were able to do it. So yeah, their will, their grit, I think, was what stood out. And
you mentioned that one of them's training because they want to compete in the Paralympics. What was he like when you first met him? What drive and ambition did he have? Because that's a pretty big goal and an impressive one too.
So I worked with an athlete called Matt Brumby, and he isn't shy to putting himself out there. I mean, he was an Iron World medalist. He's represented Australia in multiple sports. So a little bit of background with Matt. He was medically discharged from the Navy at a young age after a serious spinal injury that left him paralysed from T6 down. So he's got no absolute use of his legs and he's wheelchair bound. Working with Matty was such a great experience. Like, he opens your eyes to another world that I have absolutely no idea about. And he never let his disability hold him back. This man had no limits within the gym. So we would set up a Smith machine, a barbell around just taller than his arms extended above his head. We would get a thick resistance band around his neck and underneath his legs. And from there, I would wheel him under the bar. He would put his hands on top of the bar, getting ready for a pull-up. And with that resistance band, it holds his legs up so that it's not dangling as if he was standing. I would remove the wheelchair under him, and we would get 10 to 12 reps of pull-ups, just like that.
Wow. It didn't let being in a wheelchair stop him.
Absolutely not. No, and that was like amazing to watch.
What does he want to compete in for the Paralympic?
He's currently in New Zealand training to qualify for the 2026 Winter Paralympic Games in Italy, and he's representing Australia, which is amazing because Matty is only one of 4 athletes on Australia's first para-Nordic ski team in 20 years. He'll be competing in a biathlon. So a biathlon is skiing with shooting, and that's a sport that he'll be in, being wheelchair bound.
I haven't heard of this. So what was it? Para-Nordic ski team, and you mentioned skiing?
So he'll wheelchair ski for a certain amount of distance, and then there's sections within the course where he will have to shoot. So shooting.
Like a gun shoot.
Shooting. So he'll be on his side shooting targets. So there's one station for the shooting, and then from there, push himself back onto the ski and then ski, and you do laps with the shooting aspect. So biathlon, 2 events. He's one of 4 Australian athletes that's representing us, hopefully, in 2026, which is first time in 20 years.
Oh, yeah. That's impressive.
And I was so privileged to work with him, and I helped him last year, so kind of build up for the qualifying year. So I knew that was happening this year. They're in New Zealand now, so if they can pull off the training and get the qualifications done and make it, then next year they'll be in Italy.
So you helped him get there?
To an extent. 12 months. Oh, the man's a legend. He's great.
We had Lucinda here who had her leg amputated due to an injury, and it was amazing when I spoke to her. She sounded more free in her mind and lived life to the fullest compared to some able-bodied people.
His mindset, he's like, well, I'm not a quadriplegic. I still have my arms and my upper body. Just because my legs are gone doesn't mean my life can stop. And like he's very grateful and fortunate that he's not a quad. I need to make do with what I've got. And the man turned his life around, and he's represented Australia many times, and like he's an Ironman athlete.
5 months at D8 training. What do you enjoy most about coaching and being at D8 training?
Yeah, so D8 have really good clients here that come in. There's a variety of different clients. I mean, I'm working from the junior gym to the adults to the over 60s to the athletes, which are teenagers. So I see a whole wide range of them, and they're just really good people. So the environment's always positive.
I love the community aspect of DA. I remember with one of the ladies that comes, she goes, "This is the only gym I've ever been to and I feel really bad for not coming." I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Because if I miss one of my sessions, the next time I come in, everybody asks me, where are you? And then I feel guilty saying that I sat home and watched television on the couch."
Yeah, I mean, the peers will hold you accountable because we can see that your name's in and then they can see that your name's out. So they're always going to ask questions.
Such nice friendships have formed as well. You mentioned you coach a diverse range of people, so like over 60s, the youth, the adults. What's it like coaching such a diverse range of people?
It's fun. There's an aspect, for example, with the junior gym, I'm working with like 10, 11-year-olds. And then straight after that class, I'll jump into the adults. I have to change the way I speak and not talk to the adults as if I'm talking to a 10-year-old. That is quite fun.
Is there a different way that you'll coach the kids compared to adults?
For the kids, I think it's just being able to make it as simple as possible with the way you describe an exercise. So super layman. And I mean, that principle will also apply for the adults, but I can also throw in a little bit more technical language in a way in terms of a technique where the kids wouldn't understand. The kids, they're already getting distracted listening to me. So just trying to be quick and making sure that they understand very simply. So that's why it's super important with the demonstrations as well.
Well, what's your favourite class to coach? Who energises you the most?
Yeah, I know you put Dan on the spot with this one.
And hopefully you remember what I asked him to say.
Your class.
Yes, anyone that I'm in.
It's similar to what he said, actually. I have a really soft spot for the over 60s. I really enjoy their class. The most energized I do get out of is the morning adult group, the morning classes and the adults. It's just, they're all in. It could sometimes be all the ladies. And so we've got a lady group going and it's just fun, good energy. Everyone is friends with everyone. So the conversation's super easy to go with. But if I had to pick one, I think it might be the Forever Strength. They've just got, that grandparent feeling about it. So it's really lovely.
And I find them impressive too. I definitely want to be your age and be able to do what you do.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've had Marlene and Lynn on the podcast, and just knowing that they're still running, still sprinting, can stop them, so nothing can stop me.
The inspiration. We know with the gym, many people feel nervous about joining a gym or coming to train. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to debunk some myths. From a coach's perspective, what would you say to someone who's hesitant or afraid of coming to the gym because they may be judged?
Look, I think stick to your why. So if your why is to change yourself and that's something you really want to do within your life, you've realized, okay, I've kind of let myself go, or no, I want to get stronger, stick to that why. A gym can be very intimidating. I mean, I still train at a commercial gym. Sometimes I want to try a new exercise and I'm like, oh, but what if people are watching me? Well, you could be like me and take my glasses off and not see anyone, or just stick to your why and remember, no, this will be better for me in the future. And at the end of the day, those that are in the gym to train, they shouldn't be focused on anyone else but themselves.
I know I don't look around or judge anyone personally. Do you?
No, I mean, what world should I be judging anyone? Right?
A lot of people do worry they're not strong enough, fit enough, or lean enough, or they'll start going to the gym when they get strong enough or good enough. From a coach's perspective, what actually goes through your head when you're running a class and someone comes in and they're not very strong?
So you don't need to be strong to come to the gym. You can start off with the 1 kilos, the 2 kilos. If you stay consistent, you're going to see your strength come about. And then those 2 kilos will jump to 3 to 4. You do not need to be a certain body type, anything to start the gym. Like, the key word is consistency. Once you're consistent, you will see changes immediately.
So you're not there judging people's bodies or weights going, you're weak, you're fat.
No, absolutely not. That's not why I'm here. Weights, I mean, if you're carrying a 2 kilo doing a farmer's carry, I might be like, okay, all right, Emery, let's go, let's improve that. But other than that, no, there's no judgment as a coach. Otherwise, I shouldn't be here.
I love actually with what you do in the classes and how you observe, you'll look at people and see how you can push them to do more, to see whether they can lift more weights.
I always ask, if I feel like they're going pretty well, then I'll ask, how many reps do you think you could have done? And then they're always hesitant to respond because they're like, am I setting myself up here? But it's because I know there's room that we can increase that weight.
Definitely. I was actually quite impressed. I was in the junior gym class watching yesterday and there was, I don't know how old he is, I'm thinking 13, 14, and he benches the same as I do, 30 kilos, 15 in each hand.
Yeah. And he pulls around 150 kilos on the sled.
That's more than I do. Yeah. I remember when he first started, he definitely wasn't there. So that progression has been amazing. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned you still train at a commercial gym. So how do you think D8 compares to the commercial gym?
The commercial gym I train at is just a gym you rock up and you do your program, the one that you make. They don't really offer any type of assistance, anything like that. There's minimal staff on floor. So if you're quite new to the gym, yes, you could ask the front counter, but once you walk in, you could be extremely overwhelmed. At D8, program's already made. That's nothing you have to think about. There's a coach on the floor the whole time. There's a coach demonstrating the exercises before you begin. And during the program, they're always going to be walking around, checking technique, asking how you're going and things like that. So it's always hands-on at D8, where at the commercial gym, if you're not too sure what you're doing, it's quite easy to get lost.
That's probably what I like about D8. I've trained at a commercial gym before, and I think I had the same program for nearly a year because I didn't know what else to do. Yeah. Whereas it's done for me. I can come after a hard day's work and I don't have to think about exercises. But actually, I remember once training, there was another trainer there and he goes, "You've been doing gym for so long. How come you still need me to explain the exercises?" I go, "Because I don't want to think about it. I want you to show me." And then I do, even though I probably can figure it out. I love that you show me.
And that's why D8, if you come to the 6 p.m. class, you've just had a full day work, you're going to be a bit tired mentally. So if someone's just demonstrating it, it's monkey see, monkey do, and you go through the program.
And I think we still had clients that will come and do a completely different exercise to what was demonstrated.
That is true. And then I'll be like, did I show that? And then we'll joke around and get them back on track. It's quite funny. And that's just being tired.
So what do you do in a commercial gym? What does your workout look like?
So I train 3 times a week. So 2 upper bodies, 1 lower body. So I've got a push program, a pull program, and then lower body covering like quads, hamstrings, and glutes. I work on hypertrophy, so building strength and getting stronger within the gym.
Nice. And you do jiu-jitsu as well.
So I've trained jiu-jitsu about 2-3 times a week.
And I know this weekend, which will be post this release.
Got a competition Saturday the 19th, and it's on the Artemis Grappling Challenge, which is a new grappling event come up in Adelaide, and it's female only, so it's all female competitors rather than a traditional event which has got male competitors too, not like we compete against them. So this Saturday I've got a match up and I'm keen, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go for my first win and I'm not stopping until I get that.
Yeah, I love it. I love that energy and that confidence. So do you compete against males too?
No. That would be unfair, but I do train with males because jiu-jitsu does have a little bit of a limitation when it comes to female bodies. So I do train with males.
So do you find doing strength training that actually helps you with jiu-jitsu?
100%. Yeah, there's a good correlation between strength training and jiu-jitsu. I mean, look, half the time I am with men, but then when I do have a female training partner around my weight size, it's just being able to push weight around and getting out of tricky positions is significantly easier. And within that strength training, you know, I can bench 45 kilos. So then I'm quite confident I can move someone around my weight a little bit more easier than maybe a 70 kilo, 75, 80 kilo man.
We won't ask you how much you weigh.
No.
What's one thing you wish that more people knew about starting strength training?
So I will direct this question more towards females. And what I will say is that females putting muscle on isn't scary, it's badass. Alona Ma won an EPSI and she said, this is a quote, "Strong is beautiful, strong is powerful, it's sexy as you want it to be, and I hope more girls can feel how I feel." So I think strength training for females is badass, it's not scary.
What was her name again?
Alona Ma, and she represents America in rugby. So she's a rugby player, she's strong, she, you know, had issues growing up with the size of her body, but now she's embraced it. Well, not so much her having issues, it's other people perceiving her like, oh, she's this big girl, she's got traps and arm sizes another guy. People from the outside world couldn't understand it, but she's embraced it, and yeah, she is a top athlete.
And I think that's one of the myths when it comes to females. They believe, and I think it's from the 80s and 90s, that you'll become bulky strength training. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been strength training myself. I know you just strength train, and neither one of us are bulky, and we can lift decent weights. Yeah. My favourite bit with the gym is I can train weights and then I'm still burning calories after my gym session.
Exactly. Obviously, the myth and the stigma around women putting muscle mass on does come from generations of maybe mothers saying, no, you got to look this way. But as time goes on, a lot of women are getting into the gym and a lot of women are loving looking strong. And I think that's fantastic. Women, if you're going to get into the gym, just know putting muscle on isn't scary. It's good. It's healthy.
And there's so many benefits too. That's one thing I think now, especially having Chloe, who's 11 years old, and I look back to my childhood. I remember my mum and my mum's friends, they were always talking about how they need to lose weight. There was never a time that they really went, well, I'm beautiful as I am. I really embrace my body. There's always something that they want to hit perfection, and that doesn't exist.
Mm-mm. You know, someone in my life, I love them, there's no shade to them. But when I was growing up and I was getting quadriceps around my legs, I remember at one point they were like, oh, you got lumps around your knees. And to me, it always stuck to me. It wasn't an insult, but I just don't think they were aware. No, like they're my quadriceps and I'm obviously getting stronger.
I think we've all got stories. I remember I went overseas to Croatia and I just rocked up to my auntie's house for the first time and she hadn't seen me since I was 1 year old. I think I was 15 or 16. And as I walked in, she goes, "Oh, look at your legs. You've got these beautiful, strong, solid legs." Not what you want to hear as a 15, 16-year-old, that you got strong, solid legs. And I was shattered. And I always thought that my legs weren't lean enough or thin enough. And that's always probably been a bugbear. Years later, when I brought up that story, I was telling my grandma about it, and she goes, "Yeah, but good solid legs meant that you could work well at the farm. So that's a compliment."
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it didn't feel like a compliment.
Right. Those trigger words, solid, looking full, or lumps on your legs, like as teenage girls, we misunderstand that and then it can spiral. But other than that,
it's what we focus on too.
Yes.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, you look at...
I'm like, okay, how can I get them bigger now? I want more lumps on my legs. Yeah.
I want to win that jiu-jitsu. I want to beat the man.
If I can submit a man in jiu-jitsu training, like I put effort into that submission, that beats everything, doesn't it?
Rapid fire time. So we've got 5 quick questions, quick, short, sharp answers. I know you've listened to the podcast, so you know how it works. Yep. All right, favourite lift in the gym?
I really enjoy pull-ups at the moment, even though it's not a lift. If not, squats.
Oh, I never thought of that. I should change that to favourite exercise in the gym. Okay. And you can see you doing pull-ups in one of the Instagram videos.
Yeah, I really love them.
Least favourite exercise?
Bulgarian split squats.
Go-to meal prep ingredient?
Chicken. I love my chicken.
Favourite book?
I will go with the non-fiction route and go How Bad Do You Want It by Matt Fitzgerald. So essentially it's the psychology, mind over matter, and pushing back your limits to uncover your full potential in endurance athletes.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look into it.
Really good read. It gets you pumping.
So you read fiction as well? What's your favourite fiction book?
So my favourite fiction book is a part of a series. It's called the Never Night series by an Australian author. I really enjoy that.
I haven't heard that series. So favourite fitness influencer?
Okay, I have a few here. So Lean Beef Patty, she's a YouTuber and she does a lot of gym videos, kind of directed at the girlies and all about strength training. And then I've got 2 of my favourite nutrition actually influencers. So one of them is called the Sports Dietitian, who's run by Taylor Ryan, and then the Fight Dietitian, who's run by Jordan Sullivan. And they're really good people to follow.
I like that name, Lean Beef Patty.
Lean Beef Patty, all about protein. She's strong, she's very educational, and she's very popular on YouTube.
I have to check her out. I'll put that all into the show notes so that if anyone wants to follow them, they can easily find it as well. But I guess it's a good segue. We're about to launch a new nutrition coaching service within D8, and you've done your nutrition, you've done some coaching, so you'll be a vital part of it all. And I love what you say, that your goal is to make nutrition feel simple, not stressful. I love helping people realize that they don't need a diet, they need a strategy. Why does nutrition need to be simple?
Yes, so this nutrition service is exciting and it is coming soon. And I think if nutrition wasn't simple, then we're going to overcomplicate it and not get the results we want. So simple changes within our diet, within the lifestyle we live, will make the results a lot more easier. And so that's why it needs to be simple. You know, the saying, simple, stupid.
I know at home, I'm pretty boring when it comes to food. You pretty much know Mondays is chicken, Tuesdays is mince, Wednesdays is chicken again.
Yep.
And there's just a few dishes and we rotate. And when the kids and I start to get sick of one, like we're sick of bolognese at the moment. So I've just taken that out and I'll just replace it with something else.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you're okay with eating on that type of cycle, then there's no need to change it. As long as you are getting your proteins, your carbs and all that in it, then it's a healthy all-round lifestyle.
And how do you see it supporting our clients' training results at D8?
If you're not too sure about fueling yourself for training at D8, then this service will help you out, purely because it will educate you on what to eat maybe prior to coming to D8. Like if you finish a long day at work and you're aiming for the 6 p.m. class and you might have not eaten since 2 o'clock and you've got an hour before the session runs, you might be like, oh, I'll just train on an empty stomach. And now I've done that. You may have done that. It's not a good feeling. You're shaking. You're just maybe getting the dizzy spells. So with this service, education will be a big part of it, and it will help within your training yourself, either pre, during or post the training session.
And some of the latest research, so Dr. Stacey Sims especially, is with women we need to eat before we train. Otherwise, our bodies go into that stress state, so that fight, as opposed to getting the most out of the workout.
And then you start using different energy sources and, you just feel fatigue and shake.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for making the time to come on. If people want to follow your journey, where can they find you or keep up to date with what you're doing?
Yeah, so my little Instagram page is called just Brooke Scerri, SN, so all one words, and that's on Instagram. I post nutrition content, fitness content, so I'm trying to build it up a little bit.
It's worth definitely checking it out because you've got such practical and helpful tips and advice that you can, as you said, simply apply into life.
Yes, of course.
And I'll add that all to the show notes too, so be sure to follow Brooke. All right, final 2 questions. What is one habit that someone can start today to make a positive impact on their training or vitality?
So I think with training and vitality, I think naturally in someone's lifestyle, just eat more protein, whether that's plant-based or animal-based, just incorporate more protein into your life. And don't be scared of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates aren't the enemy. They're very good for training. Just keep up a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Everything in moderation, absolutely.
Lucky last, what does dominate mean to you?
Yeah, so I know this is a question at the end of every podcast. And so I was thinking that on the way here and listening through your other episodes, I think dominate to me means dominating a life you only get to live once. So a little bit of a spin on the YOLO, but at the end of the day, it is a life you only get to live once. So why not dominate that life?
YOLO. What's YOLO?
You only live once.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Is that like a new generation thing?
Oh, maybe not new, something back in my high school, my school.
That's a new generation.
True. Okay, fair. So yeah, YOLO, you only live once. So put that spin with the dominate and dominate that life. You only get to live once.
I love that. And I'm a big believer of make the most out of life. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're going to be here anyway, might as well enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Brooke, this was great. Thank you so much for coming. You're just a world of knowledge and we're so excited and proud and happy that you're part of the D8 training team.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. It's a privilege to be here, working here, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds.
What an incredible episode. Now you can see exactly why we're so lucky at D8 training to have Brooke as part of the team. Not only is she laser focused on helping clients get results in the gym, but she's also deeply committed to supporting them mentally, pushing past limits and building confidence every step of the way. My key takeaways from this conversation were: 1, the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. Just look at her client, Matt Brumby. His grit and determination are a perfect example of how mindset and effort can redefine what's possible. 2, lifting weights won't make women bulky. This myth still lingers, but Brooke is living proof that strength doesn't equal size. She benches more than some of the guys in the gym, and there's no bulk to her. 3, don't rely on motivation, lean into your why. On the hard days, motivation will waver, but knowing your why you're showing up, will help you keep consistent and committed. As we mentioned in the podcast, D8 training, nutrition coaching is launching soon. You'll be able to work with our team either in person or online. To keep up to date with the launch, follow us on Instagram at D8 Training. And if you want to train with Brooke or one of our coaches, visit www.d8training.com.au, and 8 is the actual number 8. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode inspired you or made you think of someone who needs to hear it, please share it with them. And if you found value in this chat, please leave a 5-star review and subscribe to the show. It helps us keep bringing you more expert insights and real stories from our D8 community. Until next time, dominate your life.